That was a wild elephant heading towards farmlands located in Thanamalwila. What you witnessed is a common sight to farming communities in Thanamalwila. News First correspondent USA Bandara filed this report on the consequences of wild elephant incursions into villages.
This wild elephant strays into the villages of Dahayagala and Arambegama from the Udawalawa National Park via the Thanamalwila Valley main road. In addition, wild elephants can also be seen roaming in the Hambegamwa, Alutwava, Rathabalagama and Arambegama villages. This is the trail of destruction left behind by wild elephants. The wildlife officers have not provided us with anything. The government should intervene to save what is left. If this situation continues, we will not be left with even a single coconut to eat.
We worked hard. In a single night, all the coconut trees and banana trees were destroyed.
The villagers get together once a year to erect this electric fence, but the authorities do not maintain it. There is no electricity. The elephants have broken the fences. Civil Defence Force personnel have been deployed to prevent elephants from straying into the village through the elephant pass in Dahayagala. The chief incumbent of the Dahayagala Purana Vihara, Venerable Kendekatiya Saddasiritera, renders his support to prevent elephant incursions.
We live in fear. We depend on tortures and fire. We cannot remain idle just because the elephants have destroyed everything. We have to continue farming. That is how we survive.
According to the locals in Galkotu Khanda, Thanamalwila, this situation has arisen as a result of the poor maintenance of the electric fence. The ideal example is these posts that are before me.
Only you came here and looked into our grievances.
Speaking at a media briefing in Jaffna yesterday, Velayudham Dayanidhi, alias Daya Master, said that he will contest the upcoming Northern Provincial Council election under the SLFP ticket.
There is a rumor that KP and Thammalini would be contesting together. It was reported in certain media. Is this true?
This is old news. The latest news is that no one will contest the election. KP and Thammalini have never said that they would be contesting for the election. I will contest the Northern Provincial Council polls under the SLFP ticket. I am contesting from the SLFP to work with the government for the welfare of the people who were affected by the war and the well-being of combatants who have been imprisoned and the development of the Northern Province. Obtaining power does not mean reaching an agreement. The agreement of the government is necessary to release them.
அரசாங்கத்துடன் சேர்ந்தாதான் இதை செய்யலாம் என்ற நோக்கத்துடன் அரசாங்கத்தை இணங்குகின்ற நடவடிக்கையில தான் நாங்கள் இணங்கி செய்து அவர்கள் விடுதலை செய்ய வேண்டும்.
Leader of the Democratic Party, Sarath Fonseca, says that he has not held discussions with former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. Fonseca made the statement in response to recent reports in the print media.
පත්‍රයක තිබුණා ප්‍රකාශයක් එතුමිය කියලා තියෙනවා කියලා මම සමග දේශපාලන සාකච්ඡාවක් කරේ නැහැ.
It was reported in a newspaper that she had said that she has not held discussions with me and that she will always engage in politics through the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We know that she has always worked and will continue to work as a supporter of the SLFP. I too am aware of this. I believe that it should be so. We have not discussed forming an alliance in the future, neither have I made a statement anywhere that we are going to form an alliance.
සන්දානගත වෙනවා කියලා මම කොහෙවත් ප්‍රකාශ කරෙත් නැහැ.
The High Commissioner of Malawi in Sri Lanka says that time and space has to be given to Sri Lanka to heal the wounds of the conflict. The High Commissioner of Malawi presented his credentials to President Mahinda Rajapaksa at Temple Trees yesterday. Malawi, known as the warm heart of Africa, established diplomatic ties with Sri Lanka for the first time. The High Commissioner of Malawi to Sri Lanka, Dr. Perks Ligoya, speaking exclusively to News First, said that he does not see why Commonwealth countries should boycott the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Sri Lanka.
There is no reason why any, to my knowledge, any African country or any Commonwealth country in Africa would boycott these meetings. So I brought a message of solidarity to the president of Sri Lanka from my president. And the message is, people don't realize that Sri Lanka has had a difficult past of war, more than 26 years of war, and to rebuild a country is not an easy thing. It takes time. And those people who are anxious to see Sri Lankans and the government doing everything at the same goal should give the Sri Lankan government time to heal the wounds of a long war.
UK Under Secretary of State at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, Alistair Burt, has met Sri Lankan High Commissioner to the UK, Dr. Chris Nonis, today. Alistair Burt has tweeted that they discussed about the importance of concrete progress in reconciliation. Burt and Nonis had also discussed about media freedom in Sri Lanka ahead of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Alistair Burt had also raised the incident of Khurram Sheikh, the UK tourist murdered in Sri Lanka in 2011. He had mentioned that the accused should face trial without political interference.
Bringing in people from entirely different places and changing the entire competition. It is natural migration.
What these poisonous fangs are all about.
That President Rajapaksa reiterated his commitment to have the election in September.
Different opinions, doctor, that have been put on the table right now.
Even after the revolution, is it that they are scared?
The mayor of Negombo was arrested on suspicion for obstructing the duties of a police officer. The police media unit said that the mayor had threatened the police officer when he attempted to take legal action following a motor accident. The mayor of Negombo was released on a personal bail of 10,000 rupees and a surety of 100,000 rupees each after being produced before the Negombo magistrate this afternoon. The magistrate ordered that the suspect be present before courts on the 23rd of October. Reports have been filed regarding many incidents with regard to the interference of duty of government officials by politicians. What are your views on these incidents? Share your views on www.newsfirst.lk. Earlier in the day, we received a number of comments, and the following was the best amongst them.
News First U reporter Nimal Ilangakun filed this report from Kandy.
Earlier this morning, a body was discovered stuck in an anicut in the Polgolla Villa, and it was retrieved with great difficulty. After the anicut was opened, the body floated downstream for about a quarter of a kilometer, where it was eventually retrieved with the help of a raft. The body was estimated to have of a 45-year-old and was clad in a blue shirt. The Wattegama police commenced further investigations.
News First 21 U reporter Mahanuwara Levalle Sita.
News First is coming to the north. Join us to take the news of the north to the rest of the nation. Learn how to report what you see in the Jaffna Peninsula. Join News First at the Jaffna Central College Auditorium on Sunday at 9 a.m. News First, you report. You see it, you report it.
The International Monetary Fund says that if Sri Lanka is to secure and maintain economic growth of 8% per annum, then it must increase trade with the ASEAN region. Director of the IMF's Asia and Pacific Department, Anup Singh, made this observation at a conference held in Colombo yesterday.
The 14th Sri Lankan Economic Summit, organized by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, commenced in Colombo yesterday. The keynote address at the opening ceremony last evening was delivered by the IMF's Asia and Pacific Department Director Anup Singh.
The trade with East Asia is particularly small, and if we want to be part of that region that is a global growth leader, we've got to increase trading with it. You may argue that countries have brought tariffs down. Sri Lanka has brought down its average tariff. It's all part of how to make trade orientation, trade liberalization important for productivity and growth.
I mean, Sri Lanka is one of the few countries in the world which has free trade agreements with India, China and Pakistan. I mean, which country can boast of free trade agreements with India and China, given our dimension and given our productive capacity? Even if we forget all that, if we play our cards right with the FTAs with China and India, we can get those figures that we can think of course, which means a shift from our total dependence on the advanced economies. So are we looking at these strategies? This is absolutely vital.
The 14th Sri Lanka Economic Summit is scheduled to conclude tomorrow. Economic analysts, policymakers, politicians and members of the local and international business community are among those participating in the summit.
On Words of Wisdom tonight, we take a look at a famous quote by former Indian President Abdul Kalam.
Do not be afraid to take a chance on peace, to teach peace, to live peace. Peace will be the last